Please join with me in consciousness, relaxing in positive affirmative meditation. Allow the words I speak to be the words of your own heart, as I speak in the first person, present tense, and positive. As I relax in this moment, I recognize there is one divine essence. It is in, through, and as all things. It is the seen and unseen world. It is the source of all. I choose to call it God. I know without a doubt I am one with it. It is all of me, and yet it is so much more. And I know as I speak my word into it, it responds. Even before I ask, it responds. So today I choose to speak on prosperity and abundance in my life. I am a beacon and magnet for all that I need, with much more to spare. For I am the light. I am in the flow of money from all sources. It comes to me easily, joyfully, abundantly. I accept and receive it now. I am so grateful for my existence in this abundant universe. I am thankful for all the money I receive in all its wondrous ways. I am grateful for my prosperous life. I always release and allow the how to spirit and allow all my good to come to me now. It is mine. Prosperity is who I am. So as I take this time now to focus on my health and well-being as part of my prosperity, I recognize that this one divine intelligence is omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence. It is truly all power, all wisdom and knowledge, and it is everywhere in its completeness, every second of every day. I know without a doubt that I am one with it. It is me, right here, right now, and yet so much more. I realize that I initiate my life experiences through my words, through my deep-held feelings and beliefs. So in this moment, I speak my words of pure health and well-being. I know my thoughts expand, and I choose today to to focus on my physical, mental, and emotional perfection. I allow Spirit to flow through me as pure health in all areas of my life. I am vibrant and healthy. I am peaceful. I accept my divine balance and health now. I am grateful for every aspect of my healthy life. I am grateful for my wondrous body and keen, sharp mind. With an open and grateful heart, I release these beautiful, healthy thoughts into law. For I know that spiritual law responds all the time. I know Spirit is attempting to bring me my good. So today I am willing to allow Welcome to Unity Online. I'm Reverend Anna Hokangas, and it's my delight to be here with Emilio Zaras, our musical director. I hope that you enjoy what we have to offer today as we try to bring you every week inspirational ideas on how to live a spiritual life in today's world, even in the midst of all kinds of ordinary things. So let's start with a great song called A Million Dreams.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compiled, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. And think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Wasn't that beautiful? So the next song is I'm the Place Where God Shows Up by Eddie Watkins Jr. And it is just such an upbeat song. I love it.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. Sing it. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Sing it with me. Woo. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God. You are the place. Moves and breathes and has we are the place. I am the place where God shows up. One last time, sing it together. Here we go. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Oh, I am the place where God shows up. Join with me in this opening intention, opening prayer. As I speak it in the I, knowing that there is only one thing going on here. So close your eyes if that's comfortable. And allow the whirling thoughts in your mind to just be set aside for a moment, and bring your attention to your heart center. And let's take a moment in the awareness of the stillness that resides there. There is only one divine essence that permeates all things seen and unseen. It is being my life right here, right now. I am one with it, and I know that I am the author, the creator, the architect of my life through my thoughts, feelings, and deep-held beliefs. And so today I am aware that I am the place where God shows up, because it is within me. I feel so grateful to know this connection, to know this oneness, and to move forward in faith, in joy, and in peace of mind. I let go and I let it be so. Please join with me in affirming. And so it is. And now the song, Face of God, which is what you are.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Sing it with me. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
I hold you in my
I hold you in my heart.
You are a part of me.
You are a part of me.
You are the face of
You
God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
I hold you in my heart.
You are a part of me.
You are a part of me.
You are the face of God. You are the face of
You
God.
are the face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
I hold you in my heart.
You are a part of me.
You are a part of me.
You are the face of God.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Well, I know for sure that you are the voice of God, as well as the face of God. Today's absolute word is oneness. I am divine. I may have learned about a spark of divinity within me and within all people. A divine spark binding us in one family and deepening our awareness of God. Today, my understanding of my divinity is more expansive. My divine nature is much more than a spark. It is what I truly am, while my personality is who I am. I realize I do not have to rely on anything outside myself for love, comfort, and guidance. Everything I could ever need is based on my divinity as divine ideas. They are inherent, and I express them as me. My realization of oneness includes all people. Freed from all illusion of separation, I know everyone is expressing their humanity from their divinity, according to the overall quality of their consciousness. Everyone is fully divine and fully human. So today, our theme, as we remember for 2021, is look up and beyond that which seems to be going on, to the true divinity of who you are and all of life. And this month is Holy, Holy, the month of May, as we are each fully divine and fully human. So I'd like to look at this too is God. This too is God, and see what you think about what I've discovered. So I'd like to look at, there's place no limits on God. So have you limited God? Face the fear, and your highest consciousness benefits the world. So place no limits on God. Have you been placing limits on God? And perhaps you have, because you've forgotten that God is absolutely every possibility that could ever be. It is infinite. It is sometimes even undescribable, because it's a feeling, it's an experience, it's the essence of who we are, and yet we're told it is so much more. It's absolutely everything we see, and it's all the things that are possibilities even before they occur in our mind. So let's take a look at placing no limits on God. Get a bigger bucket. There's this wonderful song by Karen Taylor Good called Get a Bigger Pan. And it's about this fisherman that this person sees, and they're fishing, and every time they pull in a really big fish, they throw it back. And every time they get a little small fish, they keep it. And so the person went up to them and said, "Why do you keep throwing the big fish back?" Well, he pulls out of his case this tiny little frying pan and says, "This is the only size of pan I have, so I only keep the small fish." And so the concept there, of course, is that you only get what you have a container for, what your consciousness allows, what you think or expect that you're worthy of or deserving of. And the idea of getting a bigger bucket, getting a bigger pan, is to expand your willingness to allow more in and to let go of the limitations that you may have put on yourself and on your life, and perhaps even the lives of others. Do you have trouble understanding and accepting how daily life can be a spiritual practice? I know there was a Buddhist book, and I think the title was Chop Wood and Carry Water. And the whole idea was that even in the chopping wood and carrying water, or whatever it is that you do as mundane experiences, are actually spiritual practices, or can be. You can be unconscious, I guess is the best word for it, unknowing as you do these things, just lost in your thoughts or muttering about how you don't want to do those things. How about if you were to be really mindful and really present in all of the mundane? Is the world divided into separate realms of the sacred and the material? Do you believe that there is kind of the sacred and then the material things? Because if you do, you really aren't getting the big picture, I believe. Because I believe everything is sacred, even the material world. So let's take a look a little deeper at that. Do you want spirituality to take you out of the corrupt world and help you rise above it? Because it can do that. And how can it do that? By recognizing that everything that is occurring out there is an outpicturing of something somehow that you thought that created it out there. Now, I'm not talking about these huge world events, because how could you have created, let's say, the war in another country? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your reality. And spirituality can help to lift you out, like we were saying about this year's theme, lifting you above and beyond what you're seeing to the truth of your being. And that is that what you believe and what you think about shows up in your life. And that when you see through a spiritual lens, you're able to look at things without the personal human emotion attached to them. That you can bless it and know that this too is God. All of that is. And that everyone's activities and everyone's experiences are bringing them closer to an awareness of God at some point in their life. I believe that to be true. Daily life can be a spiritual practice. And how? By being mindful. Noticing absolutely everything. Doing one thing at a time rather than trying to juggle 2 or 3 things at once. Or even if you are, to be really aware with each thing that you're juggling. Are you convinced that all divine revelations ceased with the writing of the sacred texts of world religions? Because the thing is that you are tapped in to spirit all of the time. Those sacred texts are words that are flowing through you in today's contemporary modern way, and that you are the hands and feet, the voice of spirit on earth. And that every one of us is a channel of God, because each of us is more than just a spark of the divine. We are the divine in action. And so even though you may really enjoy and get lots of value from the sacred texts, they are not truly meant to have a back cover, I guess is the best way to put it. They are not all of the wisdom just there. You have the wisdom within you. And as soon as you start to be more mindful in everything that you do every day, you start to tap into that wisdom, to that understanding, to that profound sacredness that is flowing through you as you all of the time. And so you are the wisdom. You have that divine wisdom within you. And the sacred texts, I believe, are a way to remind us, when you read something and you go, that's so familiar, that feels so right. You might even get God bumps because it just resonates with you on such a deep level. So I'm not saying don't read sacred texts. Absolutely. They are just another form of spiritual practice. But the more that you become aware also that you are sacred and that sacred text is flowing through you all of the time, you begin to realize that there is no separation. There is no wisdom outside of you. That wisdom is right where you are. Do you think that only ministers, priests, and other professional religious leaders have the ability to discern the presence of God? I know that there are many in those categories, ministers, priests, and religious leaders, who would like to think that you need to go to them to get the answers. And they may have the answers, and there's nothing wrong with going to them to hear what they have to say. But then I say to you, don't believe it until you can prove it in your own life. And hear those words and meditate on them and let them resonate or not resonate with you, because that same truth is within you. They are no different than you, perhaps more scholarly from the perhaps more scholarly because they have read more, taken more courses. But the thing is that divine wisdom is at the core of who you are. And nobody is an expert at this. They are sort of like your coach or your trainer, giving you a helping hand or making suggestions on how you might tap in and tune in to the wisdom within. Spirituality is a way of life. It can't be separated from your everyday activities because you are spirit in action. That's why it can't be separated. Even if you choose to be totally, totally secular and not think about divinity or any of the words that would conjure up the idea of religion or spirituality, you can't be separated from it because you are it. The spiritual life is, at the root, a matter of seeing. It is all of life seen from a certain perspective. It is waking, sleeping, dreaming, eating, drinking, working, loving, relaxing, recreating, walking, sitting, standing, and breathing. Spirit fills everything. And so the spiritual life is simply life, wherever and whatever, seen from the vantage point of spirit. That was John Shea. And so I invite you today to take as many moments as you can to see life from the spiritual lens, to see life as spirit. And every time that you feel joy or see beauty or any of the attributes that you give to what we would call the absolute or the universe or God, that you are really truly seeing through a spiritual lens. Every happening, great and small, is a parable whereby God speaks to us. And the art of life is to get the message. Malcolm Muggeridge. And so have you been prompted lately? Is Spirit knocking at your soul's door, saying, pay attention? Is there a desire, a yearning within you that is Spirit calling to you to express in a greater way, in a more peaceful way, in a more beautiful way, in a more wondrous way? God speaks to you through every happening. It's not just every now and then. It's all of the time. The venues of this divine communication are all around you, in many traditions, places, and especially in your activities. I've started now, when I watch television, it might be movies or series, whenever I hear a really good phrase, I write it down, and whatever the actor's name was, said it, and I create memes that I put on Facebook or on Instagram, because they are the contemporary versions of how Spirit is speaking to me, and so I like to share them. So I invite you, as you are reading, hearing music, watching television programs, I invite you to see if you can hear some of those nuggets yourself. I'd love for you to share some of them with me too. You interact to the sacred through classic spiritual practices too, like prayer and meditation, and also through ordinary things that you do, like washing dishes, driving the car, gardening, taking a walk, caring for your pet, maybe talking to a neighbor. They're all expressions of your spirituality, because who you are and what you believe is at the foundation of who you are expresses so loudly that it speaks louder than your own words. Attention as a spiritual practice is one way as well, to really pay attention, to be mindful, and to be aware, and to concentrate, and even to recollect are all ways of having attention. Some critical elements of the spiritual life might be things like moments of grace. Can you think of a moment of grace, even in the last few days, where it just took your breath away? Something was so beautiful, or something just turned out so much better than you thought that it might. Or how about opportunities for gratitude? Evidence of your connections to others. Like maybe you were thinking of someone and all of a sudden the phone rang. Or you heard your phone go ding and someone sent you a message and you were just thinking about them. They're all signs of the presence of Spirit interacting in your life. Begin by doing one thing at a time. Keep your mind focused on whatever you happen to be doing right now. Train yourself to notice the details. Immerse yourself in the details. I know that sometimes, as I've given you some ideas for how to relieve stress, one of the things I've said is to just notice the things around you. Because as soon as you start to notice whatever it is around you, the stress seems to lift. And so that's part of that mindful practice. It's through the ordinary and the familiar that you discover a world of endless wonders and possibilities. So face the fear There's a book that was written called Face the Fear and Do It Anyway. And so let's take a look at that. Thich Nhat Hanh writes, "The only way to ease fear and be truly happy is to acknowledge our fear and look deeply at its source. Instead of trying to escape from our fear, we can invite it up to our awareness and look at it clearly and deeply." And I know that in a lot of the training and a lot of the spiritual practice that I have had, one of the things that I have been asked to do is to invite that fear in and to take it to my heart center and love it and hug it. And to ask it, what is it trying to teach me right now? So how about you just take a moment right now and think about a fear that you may have. Maybe it's a fear of not enough or not being good enough or something. Maybe it's anger, because underneath that anger there is a fear of something. And as you think about it, can you imagine embracing it, loving it, and allowing it to be your teacher instead and healing it? And knowing that beyond that fear, there is love and there is possibility. Because for every question that you have, the answer already exists. For every fear that you have, the opposite of that is already true. We carry the fear from current circumstances and also the worries and anxieties of our ancestors. Instead, we can accept their weaknesses and make peace with the past. Now, you might have thought, well, how am I carrying my ancestors' fears? Well, you'd be surprised when you start to think about the things that you were taught by your family, by the people that you grew up with, of things that maybe really aren't that scary, that you've even overcome. Or maybe you're not quite there yet. And to take a look at that and say, is that really true? Is that something that is worth fearing or not? So here are some pathways to fearlessness. Breathing into the present, transforming fear into love, and walking with like-minded community. So breathing, of course, is an easy thing to do. Take a deep breath and just let it out. Transforming fear into love is a bit like what I was talking about, embracing it and loving it, and knowing that there is a power that flows through you that is transformative, and you can use it right now. And having friends, family, and like-minded community who care for you, who love you, who understand you, and who are also feeling and experiencing similar things to you is a wonderful way to also follow the path of fearlessness. This is a community, for instance, this unity community of friends that are practicing together to bring about and maintain the awareness of spirit. And that's why. Because there is something so very peaceful, powerful, joyful, and prosperous about walking hand in hand with the spirit within. All of us need to change for the better in some form or another. It's our responsibility to take care of each other. We are the gardeners, the ones who help the flowers grow. If we understand, the flowers will grow beautifully. Goodwill is not enough. We need to learn the art of making others happy. Art is the essence of life. The substance of art is mindfulness. So what might you do today to make someone else's life happy? I know I'm happy already just hearing the songs that Emilio has sung for us this morning. And when he comes in here every morning when we do these recordings, he's practically skipping And he's just such a joyous, bubbly individual. And so I am so happy to have the opportunity to work with him every day that I do. It's just a pleasure. And so what creates the joy in your life? Who creates a joy in your life? And how can you create joy in someone else's life? To develop courage is not to cast out fear, but to find out more about it by looking directly at the fear. And we talked about that. To look deeply. So think about something that you're afraid of. Maybe it's afraid of not enough. And what's really underneath that? That maybe you might go hungry, that there never will be enough, that you aren't good enough to have enough, or that perhaps you've settled. And if you realize that you have settled, then why not just brush that idea off and say, Spirit within me, please show me a way that I can live that is different than how I'm living now to allow for more prosperity into my life. Or maybe it's worthiness. The thing is that the answers are within you. Spirit is within you. And so it really doesn't take courage more than awareness and remembering to ask, what can I do now instead to feel a little bit better, to move in the direction of joy? Until you see what the problem is, trying to get away from the fear just gives the fear more energy. It's like when you're running away from something, that implies that it's following you. How about if you were to just not run? Milarepa was a yogi, and he lived in the mountains of Tibet, in the Himalayan mountains. And he had this very solitary life, actually. I think he started out with people, and then he ended up wanting to really commune with spirit. And so he lived in a cave in the Himalayan mountains. And some people say that when they did see him, he was the color of the nettle soup that he used to eat, because that was all that was available, which was this sort of pale green color, because that was, of course, his sustenance. And that one day he went into his cave after having collected more nettle to make soup with, and there were these really scary devil-like spirits there. And instead of telling them to go away or himself running away, he decided to embrace them and said to them, okay, make yourself at home. Let's sit down. We'll talk about the teachings. Make yourself comfortable and have some nettle soup. And apparently the demons disappeared, as the story goes. So lean into what frightens you. Be like Milarepa and invite them in and offer them soup. And ask them if they want to talk stories about spirit. Once you really see the obstacle, your genuine intelligence arises by itself. I mean, it just naturally does. It's to remember to stop in the middle of that negative fear and to say, what's really going on here? And how can I move through this? Your higher consciousness actually benefits the world. And so as you do this, you're raising your consciousness, and as a consequence, raising the consciousness of the world. A higher consciousness actually radiates a beneficial and healing effect on the world. Have you ever walked into a room and you could sense the love in that room, and that it was exuding from either all of the individuals or one individual? Or perhaps you are the one that walks into the room and fills the room with love. That's the higher consciousness. There's a writer called David R. Hawkins who wrote Power versus Force, and he calibrated human consciousness. The lowest vibration was shame, and the highest was enlightenment, and then everything in between. And so when you're feeling fear and shame, they're really low vibrations of consciousness. And when you're feeling peace and joy and exuberance and happiness, that they are the higher levels of consciousness. Hawkins created a chart to explain in detail what the mystics have always known, that love is more powerful than hatred, and that the truth sets us free. If you raise your consciousness calibration to 500, which is love, he says, it actually offsets 750,000 individuals who are calibrating below 200, which is the lowest possible calibration. So when we tell you in these sacred texts and in these types of programs that your raising of your consciousness actually vibrates out into the world and makes a difference, this is scientific proof of that. That just raising your own consciousness to a loving consciousness, even if it's at the moment a love for yourself or a love for a pet or a love for a family member, that you are up in that high 500, and that there are actually 750,000 people within your realm of influence that are being raised up as a consequence of that. That's how powerful you are, through the power of spirit within you. Once you increase your integrity, your understanding, and capacity for compassion, you change the world. How can you help but not? Because integrity, understanding, and capacity for compassion are up in that high level of vibration, that high consciousness. This is also from Hawkins, Power versus Force, page 292. In this interconnected universe, every improvement we make in our private world improves the world at large for everyone. Simple kindness to oneself and all that lives is the most powerful transformational force of all. So what can you do right now to raise your consciousness? From the wisdom of Milarepa about fear, how about saying to fear, tell me about yourself. I'm genuinely interested. You've come a long way to find me. Have some soup. So we looked at placing no limits on God because God is unlimited. We looked at facing the fear by embracing the fear, and that your higher consciousness benefits the world. Love heals. So yes, God, I believe, by Margaret Owens Grace and Emilio Zaras.
Will this day I be a blessing? Will this year be better than the last? Will I calm the voice that hounds me? Discard the demons of the past? Will I step out of my faith now? Live the truth I've come to know? Throw my dreams into the river. Let these forwards help them flow. Singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Maybe it's a body that needs healing, a relationship that's worn, or a child that is in trouble. There's a friendship that's been torn, and here's a job that needs new vision, a bank account that needs relief. I don't have to tell you all my problems. I just gotta rest in your belief, singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. I believe in your goodness. I believe in your grace. I believe that your power is flowing through me in this space. For you've given me guidance, and you gave me desire, and you would not have set this flame in my heart if I could not start a fire. So yes, I believe, God, I believe. Yes, I believe. Yes, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Again, please. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. One last time. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe.
Let's take some time to put our attention to our prosperity. Take a deep breath, and just let it out. And join with me in these words if that's comfortable. From the love of pure spirit in me, I bless all that I give. It goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith in the good in my life. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am prosperous. Say that again. I am prosperous. Through It All is God by Dedry Francois and Emilio Zaras.
I can shout out in anger, but think before I speak. I can choose to be strong or surrender at your feet. I can rage like a fire or soothe like the breeze. All of this is all of you and me. In and through it all is God. In and through it all is love. I am here to be a mirror, to reflect the divine in you. In and through it all is God. A soft, sweet melody or screeching tragedy. It can wrap you in its arms or bring you humbly to your knees. It can bring so much suffering for joy and harmony. All of this is all of you and me. Because in and through it all is God. reflect the divine in you. In and through it all is in and through it all is God.
In and through it all is God. Know that you can go to our website for a prayer request if you so choose. Don't allow for something to be heavy on your heart. I am here, we are here as our prayer team to pray with you, knowing the truth that Spirit is within, saying yes to all your desires. So join with me in consciousness and read along if you like. The infinite mind of God, which is my mind, fills my consciousness with all I need to live a full and happy life. I follow the guidance. I am peaceful. I release all fear. I am living love. And so it is. And let's end with the final song, Holy, Holy Way, Ricky Byers-Beckwith.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me share the good that overflows. Let me share the good that overflows. Oh, let my stance rebuild the path of peace. Let my stance rebuild the path of peace. Oh, let me talk each day a little kinder. Let me talk each day a little kinder. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way.
And there, my thank you is a thank you as we are centered in this awareness. Thank you so much for joining us again this week. I hope that you received some nuggets and some ideas. And when fear does come rolling around, invite it in and say, have some nettle soup. And please share this video with others if you have found that there is something in there that you would like for others to know as well. And we'd love to receive your donations. You can find a donate button right on our website, or follow the instructions on the video just following this message. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week.